Hello and welcome. My name is Greg Crawford. I am the editor of TABB Forum. I'm joined today by Stuart Breslow, CEO of Realtic. Stuart, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Greg.
We are going to spend some time this morning talking about sponsored access. And Stuart, I wanted to start out by just asking you your general reaction. The SEC finally laid down the law, as it were, on sponsored access, a long time in coming. Perhaps no surprises, but I wanted to know what your thoughts were on the ruling.
Well, from our perspective, it actually is about time. You know, sponsored access, not a new concept. It's been around for a while. Frankly, it's a little concerning that people have been able to send orders unfiltered to the marketplace for quite some time. So we really welcome the SEC's ruling.
Now, Realtic, and you have been familiar with sponsored access for quite a long time. It's not a new concept. Can you tell me a little bit about, at this point, now that there is a formal ruling, what you see as the next step, given the long history that you've had with this part of the market?
So yes, we actually have been doing the sponsored access provisioning for quite some time, back from the birth of the ECNs and the order handling rules back in the late 90s. What we foresee happening now is, now that the marketplaces have completely fragmented and there are many ECNs and there are many exchanges nowadays, the advent of co-location provides for direct access to the markets. Many traders are taking advantage of it.
Right.
Filtered access is going to help, even in that environment where people are going to have to go through a filtered model to do risk controls, order size checks, order value checks before they access the market. But I don't believe it's going to be able to stop there. If you have traders that are trading in the fragmented marketplace, having trading models sitting at each individual exchange, there still needs to be, if they're trading the same name at multiple exchanges, there still needs to be an omnibus aggregation of the overall trading and risk management. When people are trading in the individual markets at microseconds, yet the order execution events need to be consolidated to some central location, that's typically happening in the order of milliseconds. When orders are happening in microseconds, but the consolidation is happening in milliseconds, what that still ultimately means is that there are thousands of orders that may be able to go off that trigger a further risk control before the stop actually can get put into place. Okay. So we believe that the SEC's rulings actually, there's a lot of devil in the details. We have not yet seen any of the specific definition around what the ruling means. We actually welcome the whole elimination of the unfiltered access, but now it really, we're waiting for the specific definition and exactly how they're going to control overall risk management when the co-location phenomenon is current. Okay, so this is perhaps then just a first step in a longer process. And how are you guys at Realtic sort of addressing this issue and working to, make sure that you have a solution as some of these details get ironed out by the SEC? So we've been providing the sponsored access model for quite some time. Realtic as a company built the Archipelago ECN and built the Archipelago Exchange, and Realtic was being used to access Archipelago in a sponsored access model back from the late 90s. We have refined this over time. We have a battle-tested solution. Even in this fragmented marketplace now, what we provide is a proximity-hosted solution so that there is automatically one consolidation point where order size checks and order type checks and position concentration checks and margin checks are all happening in the consolidated central location before access to the market. So that is our solution. We provide a centralized control point on a proximity basis before the access to the markets takes place. Okay,
good. Interesting. Very good. Well, we will leave it there. Again, I'm Greg Crawford, editor of TABB Forum, joined by Stuart Breslow, CEO of Realtic, talking about sponsored access. So you have to keep your eyes open on this subject because, as we mentioned, a long time coming for the rule, but still further work to be done down in Washington on this. So
lots to still unfold.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.